Hello there. Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. I'm Scotty. You're not. Saved it. We're on season 6, episode 5, entitled Reunion. This was the one I thought it was. Because there's another one, when another character shows up, that's the next episode, actually. So I thought that was the reunion, but no, this is Reunion. And it's the reunion from Excelsior Prep. Yes. Uh, and we actually start with a flashback to Excelsior Prep. We meet Long Lex Luthor, is what I was going to say. Young Lex Luthor, now played by Lucas Grabeel of High School Musical fame. He was the Ryan in that. He was also Ethan Dalloway in the Halloween Town movies, where he became the secondary main character after the third one. And love interest, that always confused me. But since it's not the real Marnie, it doesn't really matter. No, does it? About that Luke dude, he is such a wiener. No, yeah. And yeah, we see that there is he has a friend named Duncan there, and it's really the sort of introduction to that, and that Oliver and his buddies were sort of bullies to them. It does kind of fit with Oliver because, as we know from Arrow, Oliver's a different person before what happened. He changed his ways. So, yeah, we know that Lex has not. In fact, he's gotten worse. But yeah, and then we go to um, the reunion where we see Oliver is reunited with his two other friends who are named Jeffrey, who they make a point to say is from Gotham, and other guy, Alden. And I swear, I didn't look it up, but I swear Alden is the same guy who played the pizza guy in the vampire episode last season. These shows reuse actors all the time. So, I swear it was him. But he doesn't last long. He dies out of Final Destination because he makes a mark about Duncan. Once again, Lois is there with Oliver. Lana is there with Lex. And yeah. So he goes over to the front of this place, of the whole building, and the statue breaks. And it breaks next to him, and he doesn't move. He just kind of stands like, huh, whoa. And then another part of the statue falls. The blade gets him. You don't see it, of course, because it's made for TV, and it just kind of guts him. But you see the blood splat on Lex's face, which is nice to make it the opening. And yeah. So there's a B plot where it's a C plot where Clark finds out that they call them zoners. That's where we get the name zoners from the Phantom Zone in India doing stuff. That ends up, I'm like, oh, so does he go off and do his own thing while we're doing it? No, it's brought up. He goes to Oliver to get the satellite images because he says Chloe is working on a news article for it, and then that doesn't come back till the end of the episode because stuff, and that ends up being a lost cause to India one anyway. But yeah, so it's really only brought up to move that forward. So the name Duncan is brought up several times in the episode, and the flashbacks are peppered throughout the episode. I'm just going to put it all together here. When Lex was at Excelsior Prep, he had a best friend named Duncan. Duncan was poor, so he didn't have much. We find out later that Lionel paid for him to go to this school, and he and Lex are dubbed as the losers, while Oliver and his friends are the popular guys, right? And they pick on relentlessly. One night, when they're walking down the hallway talking, they witness Oliver and his friends steal the answer to the midterms. Now, Duncan's first instinct is to, tell the teacher, get them in trouble, get them expelled, kicked out, don't have to worry about them anymore. At one point, they both say they want to become lawyers, doing pro bono work, which would make Lionel very angry for doing free work for the poor. But Lex, at the end of the day, is a Luthor. So instead of trying to get them expelled, which would make the most sense, no, he wants to go against the grain. And he wants to use it as blackmail. They're going to fit in and be cool with the cool kids for once. Because Lex is not cool because he's bald and he wears a hat. I'll tell you what, Luke Scorpio is good. I can believe this is a young Lex Luthor. The actor they had before was a little off, but this one is fine. And like I said, I'm telling all one story. So, at one point, we find out that Duncan Ellenmeyer is dead. This is after Jeffrey is killed. Let's say, go back to Gotham, and the lit cigarette rolls. It's literally what's the name? Cat that gets killed. It's literally like that, where the cigarette rolls and the fire goes out. Only this explodes instead, except for, they don't make you go and your head through the pipe. No, it just explodes and he's dead. Yeah. Conveniently, during both of these, Clark is not around. Otherwise, I feel like Clark would show up and save the day, but he's not around. So, yeah, only Oliver and Lois here. And then it's like, this is cool and all, but now no one else is going to die because, the horror fan and I am, because the other two are big characters. They're not going to, I wish there was more characters involved, but there's not. But, yeah, so he's like, Lex and I killed Duncan Ellenmeyer. Okay, sure, that's not what happened. Well, Duncan gets mad. He's like, no, we're not going to do this. No. I'm going to go tell, Lex like, no, you're not. And they get into a fist fight. And he starts just beating the crap out of him. And it's Oliver that has to pull him off. Like, hey, stop. And he's like, just stay away from me. And he walks out in the street, and then Final Destination happens again. Immediately hit by a car. Okay. Clark rightfully says, it's not your fault. He goes, yeah, it is our fault. Might as well all pushed him in there. Me, Lex, Alden, and Jeffrey. Like, no. First of all, I know that it all happened because of the incident of, you stole the papers, the midterm answers, which led to you. I don't want to sneeze. Which led to them. You stole it. They caught you. That led to the blackmail. And to all they getting mad about it, and the fist fight. And then him storming off, getting hit by the car. Sure. But you couldn't have known that was going to happen. It is, for all intents and purposes, an accident. But not only does Oliver say that everyone there involved is responsible, Lionel later says it was Lex's fault. Which it kind of is, but it was still an accident. For all intents and purposes. And it's not hard to figure it out in your head. He's still alive somewhere. This is this show, right? You're still alive. There's something to do with Meteor Rock. Wouldn't you know, Bob's your uncle. That's exactly right. Because Clark goes to talk to Lionel, and we find out that Duncan Ellenmeyer is still alive. He's been receiving treatments to help repair his brain because of the car accident. He's still alive, but it messed with his brain where it's not working right. He's been receiving treatments. And it turns out he's receiving a new treatment, which is refined Meteor Rock. Yep. And so Clark goes to find out. I don't think we needed Lois to be there, because it really doesn't make much sense for Lois to show up. I almost flipped out, because he's going there. All of a sudden you see Lois. She's like, Smallville? I'm like, I don't know what the hell is she doing there. There's no point to her being like, Lana's barely in this episode. Well, she does get hurt. I should point out that Duncan does go after Lex in the mansion, and Lana is there. This is also really fucking stupid. Okay? I understand. Is there some kind of quota somewhere that how many times Lana's got to get knocked out? Because this made no sense to me. So Duncan makes the glass shatter and pop out at them. Lex sees this, grabs on it, and jumps down onto the ground. And to escape the glass. Next thing you know, she's bleeding from the forehead and she's unconscious. How the hell did that happen? All I did was grab her and fall to the floor. And his back was to the glass, so he should have been hurt. I don't understand it. There's no reason for her to get knocked out here. And she's in the hospital for the rest of the episode, I think. They say she's going to be fine, but it just made no sense. So like I said, Clark and Lois, because this makes no sense. Because, like, you do the whole thing. They show up, she's like, okay. She goes to open the door. Oh, it's locked. I'll go see if I can't find a key. And he does this thing where he goes, oh, it was just jammed. She's like, okay, ladies first. But then he goes in. I'm like, I'm waiting for her to go, hello. But no, they go in. Why does she have to be there? Yes, she's researching her paper. Sure, she wants to find out what's going on. Sure. To protect Oliver. Sure. But why? Also, we did let's introduce the MacGuffin so it could be Ex Machina later. Because at the beginning of the episode, Oliver's showing Clark his new arrows. He mentions the boxing glove arrow, which is from the comics. But he says that he thought that'd be too hokey. So instead he has an EMP arrow. I wonder what that could come in handy for. But it's such a weird way that it's handled. This is the writing in the last 3 episodes where an enemy shows up. It feels like we need to go real quick. Like I mentioned, the zoner I can start calling him that now. The zoner, the plant zoner, where it feels like she's like, well, nothing you could do now. And then he makes the water, uses his heat vision, makes the water come out, and then she gets electrocuted right away and is dead. Here, it's the same thing. It's not a zoner, but like, Duncan's in the hospital room. It's powers from this, and he zooms off to go help them, and he comes in. He's able to. So the astral projected ghost, so to speak, of Duncan shoots the arrow. It hits Clark in the chest and breaks. And it just so happens to be one of those fancy schmancy EMP arrows. And it goes out. And it hits the astral projection ghost. And causes Duncan, the real Duncan back there, to go, and die. By the way, no one asks. Like, he comes back and they're taking Duncan's body out. And no one's like, hey, why are you here? Who are you? Where are you coming from? What are you doing here? No, this is supposed to be a secure facility, right? Unless Lionel knew Clark was going there, so I don't know. And again, there's a conversation with Lex and Lionel where Lionel says, you caused his death. Technically, he's right, but it's still an accident. There's no way he could have known a car was going to hit him. But yeah, I don't know. And then there's a conversation with Oliver and Clark about how, Duncan and everything. And then we get a reveal, kind of. So he gets the satellite photos. Chloe shows up with the satellite photos, and they look it up. The one in India is a lost cause, but there's another one in Australia, and they show someone in the crater, and then they say, oh, I zoomed in as much as I could. But they don't show it, because I'm assuming they couldn't get the actors back to take a picture. I don't know why, they just don't show it. She pulls out the other picture, and he goes, Raya. Yeah, it's Raya, not Raya. I said it wrong. Raya. And credits. Like, okay, I knew she was still alive. I knew that she was coming back. That's what I thought the reunion was. But I'm just like, they don't even show her picture. Usually they show pictures. Like, even Fast and the Furious showed Letty was still alive. Like, right? That does go into the next episode. shit. Has a special guest star. Oh boy. This is going to age this show a lot, the next episode. But this one, it's not bad. I'll give it a 3. I've been sticking to 3s. I don't know if I did it out of 5 or out of 10. But, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. I don't remember what I used to, I kept doing it. I don't know. But, it's fine. These episodes have been fine. I never thought season 6 was anything to write home about to begin with. It's a decent season, I'll just say that. I like this owner's idea, so yeah. And this is the first guest star. We have special guest stars that show up. The other 3 are wrestlers, but this is the first kind of, we have a guest star coming in. It's a rapper in the next episode, so yeah. So what are your thoughts on this episode? Leave a comment below. You should like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.